Recording. All right. Welcome. Today we are discussing and showing you a tool called Loom. Loom is yet another video recording software, but it's got some huge tricks to it, and it's my favorite price. It's free. To a point. I'll talk about that in a second here. And it works by downloading it to your computer, or you can install it as a plugin for Chrome, and they also have mobile app versions of it. So let me talk about let me show you their website and kind of how to sign up for this, and I'll talk about the tool a little bit, and then I'll demo it. I'm hoping the demo will work correctly. Whenever I'm showing a video software over Zoom, sometimes things go weird. So I'll do my best to make sure this shows up correctly. Well, let me share my screen and grab this website at the same time. And I'll link this later too, but this is the link to sign up. It's loom.com/education. And part of the reason I'm showing you this part first, y'all can see this, right? Good. Is it takes actually a couple days for the educational license for you to get it. So if you go to loom.com/education and scroll down a little bit, there's a get started and get verified. So when you sign up, you want to sign up with your pipeline account because it's going to ask you some information about where you teach, and they're going to verify that you're an instructor. So it can take 2-3 days for your account to become kind of active. Once it's active, you're good to go. Okay. This is the kind of list of features, but what I want to highlight a couple things. Loom is set up for like teams to work in groups. With the education license, you only have one creator. So you'll see, like, if you log in, you'll have the ability to like join my workspace at the FRC with Rob. Don't worry about that. You don't need to join a workspace. We don't have the ability to collaborate and do things with our free educators account. You can record up to 45-minute long videos. And you have the libraries are like your folders of videos, unlimited views, and it also it says HD video. The quality is not the best, and I'll talk about that in a little bit, but it can record your desktop or your browser and your camera at the same time. So you can kind of do a picture-in-picture thing, and I'll talk about that while we do the recording process. And what's not listed on here is it actually has full captioning now, which is completely included. So when you record, the benefit to this program over some other screen recording software is that it's recording in the cloud. So it automatically uploads. There's no wait time. You don't have to like upload it to YouTube afterwards and then have it captioned. It's doing proper caption. It does capitalizations. It does punctuation. Is it perfect? No, none of them are. You still want to go through the captions and make sure it's not redoing words for you, which all these things tend to do. But that's kind of what this software does. If you look at the pricing on the free plan, you could have students use this tool if you want to, and they can only record up to 5 minutes. So to use the education license, you have to be an educator, so you have to be an instructor. If you wanted to assign or show students they could use this tool, their limit is going to be down to 5 minutes, just so you're aware, in case you want to show it to them, they ask you about it. So let me reshare my screen and make sure I'm sharing it properly. Any questions before we dive into it? Okay. You saw that there's a 45-minute limit there. So you may or may not want to use it for lectures. Why would I use this tool? We've been using it in the FRC for about 3-4 years now. And what's really nice is that I can record something quickly. So if I'm answering a question in an email, I just record it, I get the link immediately, and I can send it via an email. I can embed it if I want to, but it makes it really quick. So in the student situation, I would use this for class announcements, for making a video announcement. I would use it for doing feedback. So if I'm grading papers or projects, instead of typing all my comments, I might just record a video for students and give them feedback that way, and then just paste the link into the comments section. Caveat on that, in the speed grader, when you paste a link into the comments, they can't click on it. They have to copy and paste it back out to the browser, right? So it still works, but they have to, has a little extra step to it for the students. Let me share my entire screen and see if I can get the software to share for you. Okay. Let me get rid of this, get rid of that. What do I have open that I can show you? I don't know. Let's just go to here. Okay. So on my computer, I have the application installed. So I'm going to type in Loom and just launch the application like you would any other software. So then you get this dialog box. And I'm going to actually turn off my camera in Zoom and see if it'll load. And this is where things always go weird. So normally here, down in the bottom left-hand corner, you would see my portrait as a picture-in-picture. I'm going to try unplugging my camera and plugging it in really quick and see if it'll kick it back into gear. And this is giving me an issue just because I have Zoom and Loom going on at the same time. There we go. All right. Let me reposition that a little bit. Okay. So you can see me down in the bottom right-hand corner, and I can choose whether I want to record myself with the camera or just the screen or just the camera only. If I was going to do the camera only, I'd probably just use Zoom to record something. I do a lot of things with just the screen, but for this demo purposes, I'm going to leave this on and I'll talk about why in a little bit. And you can change, if you have different cameras on your computer, you can choose the camera, you can choose the microphone if you have different mics like I do. You can set the quality. And so remember, I said this is recording straight in the cloud. If your internet is slower, it may not be fast enough to record the video smoothly. If that happens, you can set this down to 720 or hit auto. So leaving this at auto, it'll kind of check your internet speed and give you the right settings to record smooth video. Okay. They do have a screenshot feature now, but that's new. It's in beta. I'm not going to talk about that right now because they're just working on it. Another setting in here is a recording canvas. What this actually does is sets a background to whatever you are recording. So instead of having my desktop, so if I wanted to hide any icons on my desktop, I actually get this little colored background and I can choose which background I want and how I want this to look. I can choose different colors, whatever I want to have as like a background. That's what that canvas thing is. You don't have to use it. And I think I closed Loom all the way out. Let me relaunch it there. I don't typically use that, but it is an option. So screen and camera on, bring up my browser back here where I want to record, and I will just hit start recording. You'll notice before I do that, up here in my taskbar, I'm in Chrome on Windows, so this might look a little bit different. I've also got it as a plugin for Chrome. So I could use it directly in the browser where I'll just record the browser window. By default, it's set to full screen. You can also choose just a window, or you can choose and drag a custom area. So if I wanted to just choose a specific area of the screen, I could drag a window and now it's only going to record this section of the screen. I'm just going to escape out of that. One thing that's weird about Loom is every time you leave the program or you hit escape or anything like that, it closes the program completely. So I'm going to leave this at full screen and screen and camera and hit start recording. When I hit start recording, I'm going to get a countdown, and there are some settings that you can set up for Loom. I'll talk about those in a minute. But one of the things that it does is when I click or I hold down my mouse button, it highlights my cursor in yellow. So if I hold this, if I hold my mouse button down, you can see it stays. So when you click on something, if I wanted to show you how to log into like the Canvas area on our website, when I click, it shows that highlight in yellow. So that can be handy. And that's kind of a built-in feature. Another thing you can do is while you're recording, if I hover over my portrait down here in the bottom, I've got different settings. Are you guys seeing this okay? Okay. This is the default. I can click on this larger one and make my portrait bigger. And so maybe I wanted to highlight something. I could drag it in the middle, talk to my students about something specific, and then shrink my picture back down and stick myself back down in the corner. So you can kind of edit this on the fly, right? Another option down here, this little square actually makes the video full screen so that I could focus on me, I can talk, I could demonstrate something, click on the small version, and it takes me back down, right? So it's a nice little way of kind of editing the features that are a little editing feature while you're working.
Okay, Rob, can you go back just a second and show me where you got that box?
It's just
How did you get to that little box there?
Yeah, it's the three little dots on the bottom of my portrait. So if I just hover over my portrait, yeah, it'll just kind of show up there.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm not clicking on anything. I'm just pressing the button.
Okay.
If I click on this, it just turns my video off and puts my picture, whatever picture I put in my profile there. That's what this little shadow person here is.
Okay.
And then this last one is like background effects. So you could add borders or something to your frame if you want to do that. Yeah, it depends on how fun you want to get with things. Just like Zoom, sorry, I'm going to go back into those effects. You can blur your background or not blur your background. You could put little other things back in your background. I think it doesn't cut me out as well as Zoom does. So I either leave this on blur or I leave it on none when I'm using Zoom or using a Loom, sorry. And I'll just go ahead and close that. Over on the left side, I've got this little pull-out bar. If I hit stop, it'll stop recording immediately and be done. If I hated everything I was doing, there was construction outside, I could hit this arrow and it'll just start the recording over. So it just like resets me back to the beginning. I could pause, take a drink of water, move things around, and then start recording again. Just hit the little play head and that'll start the recording. Delete gets rid of it completely. And then the little pencil lets me draw on the screen. So I can choose a color and I can circle something on the screen and then I can hit done and it goes away. So it just kind of leaves it there for a second, but it's really handy if you want to underline something or point something out and then keep moving on with your presentation. So I'll hit stop recording. And what this does is notice it open up a new tab immediately in Chrome, and then here's my recording and it's set to go. So all I have to do is copy the link and send it on. So up at the top is this share button, or I can click on this little chain link here and I get that copy link and I could go straight to my email, hit compose, send this to Valerie. And this is like the coolest thing ever. I paste this link in, but look what it puts in place. It gives me the name, the link to the video, and an embedded video all inside the email just by pasting in that link. So I didn't do anything fancy. I literally just hit this copy link and pasted it and it's ready to go. If I go to Canvas and I go into a class, this won't work the same way because it's not as magical. If I go into announcements and I want to send a new announcement and I paste this link in, it just shows up as a link. Not very exciting, right? However, if I go back to that Loom video, I just didn't close the tab. I could hit share. And then from here, I can get the embed code. And then I can just copy the embed code, go back into Canvas. And this is the exact same thing with an announcement or a page or an assignment, wherever you want to put it. Click on the 3 dots, just like you would with a YouTube video. Click on the little cloud embed, paste in that embed code, hit submit, and there's my video just embedded in the email. I left it as responsive, so it'll stretch depending how big the student's monitor is when they're viewing the assignment, and that they'll just play right inside the announcement if I sent it out. Cool. Questions so far?
So when you send that out in an announcement, can students respond to it? At all?
Not by default.
Okay.
So in the announcement, you can allow users to comment or not.
Okay.
Now, if they click on the link inside of the Loom video, which I think is there, and I'll talk about that in a second. It's a little advanced feature. I believe when they have an option, yeah, here, they could open it in a new window. And that'll open it back in Loom in this screen. And by default, they could add comments to the video here.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep. And you can turn this off, more importantly. Good. Any other questions so far? I can only see one person at a time, so I don't see anything in chat. We're good. Okay. So what if I close this and I just want to find a video? Oh, the other thing I want to show is the title is whatever browser window you had open, right? So I was looking at my Google Chrome, so this isn't helpful. So I might say FRC homepage, whatever, right? When you change the link here, it'll automatically change the embed here. So if I were to, it's not saved, so it won't actually do it. And that says FRC homepage here, right? Same thing if I send it as a link in an email. Okay. I'm going to close my Loom screen altogether, and I'm going to go back to loom.com. When I showed you earlier, I went to loom.com/education because that's like the education page. Since I'm logged in as me in the browser and it's already part of my pipeline account, I don't have to log into Loom every time. It should just hold your information so you can come back in. Here's all the video. I just see all the videos I've made. You can make folders. I haven't done so. That's kind of a newer feature, but you can organize things by folders. So I made a folder for like my marketing class and my business class, and I can put all my marketing 101 full videos in there, but it doesn't change anything for the access to the links to the videos. That's just for your own organization if you have things you want to find. What you'll notice if you look at my videos, I use this a lot for short questions. So I'm constantly making little videos and sending them out. There's no storage limit in Loom. It's just the 45-minute long video. So you don't have to keep coming in here and cleaning things up. You saw that the video is immediately available. There's no lag time like when we upload to Zoom. So there's a speed factor in here that allows me to just work faster and get information back to students quicker. Okay. If I click on the video, it'll just open up in the Loom screen. If someone watches it from here, so if I hit play and I'm watching it, people can leave emojis at different part of the video, and they can also leave comments along the video, and it kind of is in line with the timeline. You can turn that off per video. I don't think you can turn it off in your entire account. So it'd be like a per video thing. So if I hover over this video and I click on video preferences, I can choose what's available here. So I could turn off the comments. I can turn off different things there. You notice that by default, you would get an email notification if people are commenting. So I find that really handy that Well, the other thing I like about Loom is I send Valerie this email. Then if she watches it, I get an email saying that you watched the video. If you don't log into Loom, it just says some anonymous person has watched your video. If you're logged in with your account, I would actually tell me exactly who you were that watched it. Same thing with the comments. You can't, students could leave an anonymous comment, but I would probably, if I was using this with students, I'd probably just turn most of this stuff off. You can also trim and you can stitch clips together. So you can do some basic editing up here that you can't really do in YouTube. So I could come up in here, hit that trim, and I could maybe trim off the first pieces. And I could even go like hover over this and maybe I have to do it this way. So you go here and I could split this. I click on the split and now I've got two different video clips here. And so now the video clip will only play from where I hit that split. And the same thing I could do at the end too. I could bring this in and cut it down. It's a funky little trimmer. I don't like these kind of things for myself. If I wanted to do some real editing to my video, I'd take it into Premiere or something like that to actually do it. You could, let's say you messed up a piece too. So let's say here I made a mistake. I could technically add another clip from another video, but what I'd have to do is go and record that video and then stitch it inside of it. And to me, that's just too complicated, right? What I don't want you guys to do ever is spend all your time becoming video editors. So if you mess up that big, just re-record the video, right? That's why we make shorter videos too, to make it easier for ourselves. So I'm just going to revert to original there. Let me go back out of here. And the other thing, I think it's in, oh, review transcripts. So remember I said it auto captions it. The captioning's already done, right? So this is way faster than any other captioning tool that we've been showing you so far in the past year. You'll notice that there's capitals and there's punctuation, but maybe not all the words are correct. So we always say it's a good idea to go through here and make sure everything is translating correctly to what you're actually saying. If I saw that there was a mistake, I would click on the little correct transcript, this little pencil tool here, and then I can just click on a word and retype. Not the best editing tool. I can delete words, you can add things, I can highlight multiple words. I think maybe not, maybe it's word by word. But you can correct little minor mistakes in here. I think the editing is better in YouTube than in here. I might be just being used to it more, but you can correct the transcript inside here. And any questions on the video settings? Got one more little area I want to show you, and then I can do this all again if you want, or we can ask more questions. If I go back to my library over here on the left side, and then I'm going to click on settings down here at the bottom on the left. And I'm going to go to personal settings. And there are some general settings that you can put inside here. Remember when I switched to my photo, this is where you can upload your profile photo that you want to put in. You can add your notifications of where you want to be notified. So I just have my pipeline email in here. It's defaulting to my pipeline password. It's getting all that from Google, so I don't need to do anything there. If I go to push notifications, this is how you will be notified when different things happen from Loom. Notice I have everything on. I don't pay attention to this, so I'm not going to go through every single setting. But if you're finding that you're getting too many notifications, this is where you can kind of turn stuff off if you wanted to do that, especially if you're using it with a larger class and you have a lot of students. You may not want to be notified every single time a video is viewed, right? That might not be helpful. And I think the workspace has it. Nope, it's in the actual tool. So I'm going to launch Loom again from my desktop. And I just want to show you a couple of settings in here. So I go to the three dots in the upper right-hand corner of the Loom interface. There's a preferences piece in here. And in here, you have the ability to touch up your appearance. Be careful with this. If you crank it up, what it's doing is smoothing it out. So it's smoothing out every single line on my photograph here. And the higher this is, and if this is turned on, it's going to take more processing power, right? So not only are you recording video, but you're recording your camera and your desktop and putting it in the cloud at the same time. So if you find that your computer is like not quite keeping up or your photo is stuttering a lot, you can turn this feature off and that might help things run slower. The same thing with the adjust for low light. All these things that are on are just going to take more processing power. The highlight mouse clicks, that's that yellow circle that shows up. So if you don't like that feature, you can turn it off, but it is on by default. The recording countdown where it goes 3, 2, 1. This is the ability to turn that off if you want to. I would leave these at the defaults for the moment, right? But that's kind of where some of the extra preferences in there. And that's pretty much the tool.
So Rob, when we're talking about touch up my appearance, can they look like Marilyn Monroe?
Nope. That's more of a Zoom feature where you have all those stickers and things you can put on. This is literally just smoothing. I don't know if you can see what it does to my face, but it literally just like it smooths out like everything on my face and then it gets really soft. If you're like me and you have your camera off most of the time or you have it small, you're not going to see a lot of difference on it anyway. Yeah, the Zoom settings is a lot more of those features involved in it. So, and like right now I don't have the browser open at all, right? So if I hit start recording, this is another little demo. It'll do that countdown. I can show the timer over here. I can see how long my video is could be coming. I talk. I hit stop. It's just going to launch the browser and take me right to my Loom video. And it's uploaded, captioned, done. That's it, right? That's literally how long it takes. And I can just, by the time I copy this, type an email, type an announcement and send it, it's ready to go. Like there's no pause time at all. And that's what I like about this tool. Hi, Anna, I didn't see you sneak in there. But that's what I like about this tool over like the Loom, or I mean, sorry, Snagit, record, upload, or the Zoom, record, upload. Obviously with Zoom, you're usually doing it with other people in the room, right? So this is a way of recording lectures, messages, student feedback, whatever that is, and just getting it to students right away. Anna, since you were here at the beginning, if you want to sign up for this tool, it's the loom.com/education, and it takes a couple days for them to verify your account. So just log in. You can use either account you want. Since I know you teach at Antioch, you can do Antioch or Pipeline. They just need to verify that you're an educator to get the free account. And then you get free uploads, 45 minutes per video, unlimited videos. If you wanted students to use it, it's a limit of 5 minutes for them. They would set up their own account.
I'm sorry, Rob. I am rushing back from a real meeting to get.
You're fine.
Yeah, I will also watch the recording, then I'll start over again.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got time. I can show the tool again. I might stop the recording and just kind of show it again if people want to see it.
Okay. This is amazing. I saw your description and I said, oh, I gotta learn this. This is very handy.
Yeah, again, it's like there's so many tools that do this, like Screencast-O-Matic, Screencastify, Zoom, Loom, Snagit. They all kind of do the same thing, and they all have their special things that they do. Okay. This is very similar to Screencast-O-Matic. Screencast-O-Matic is browser only, so it's only a browser plugin. Loom is a desktop application or a browser plugin or a phone app, so you can kind of use it anywhere you want. Okay. I've heard mixed reviews on the phone app. It's fairly new. I haven't tried it myself, but in theory, you could use it to make a phone recording to like show what your class looks like on a mobile device and then send that out to students, right? We do things like that with it.
All right.
Any questions, concerns? And what I told everyone else earlier too, and the reason why we haven't shown this program sooner to everybody is it only got the caption feature recently. They added it like maybe a year ago, and it was a paid add-on, and now it's completely free across the entire platform. So it's like now I can show it to you consciously.
This is great. This is a great tool. I can't wait to get into it and learn it.
So a couple of the downsides we briefly talked about earlier, since it is cloud recording, it takes a lot more processing power, a lot more internet bandwidth. So if you're on an older computer, you might have problems with it. If you have low internet access, that might be problems. My biggest personal issue with Loom, since I don't use it all the time, they have updates a lot. And I feel like every 3 times I go to use it, there's another update. So it can be kind of frustrating just to run the updates. What's another thing? If you use things like Play Pause It, or you're doing anything special with like you would do through YouTube. So Play Pause It is the tool that we use that you can add questions on top of your videos. It doesn't work with the Loom. So what you could do though is take your Loom video, download it as an MP4, put it in YouTube, but then you might want to use a different software, right? So it just depends on what your end goal is. All right. Looks like Renee never came back. She's doing something over there. Any other questions? You want to see the whole little process again? Yeah.
I would like to see it if it's okay with
Yeah.
the rest of the group. I don't want to.
What I think I'll do is I'll show you what it looks like from the browser plugin. So just a little bit different setup. Since I showed the desktop application, it's basically the same, right? If I wanted to record PowerPoint or Word or some other application, I have to use the desktop version, right? The browser plugin tends to be more finicky, but it works really good if you're just showing something like Google Slides or something like that, right? So let me turn off my video, and hopefully Loom won't yell at me. Yeah,
Rob, I just want to say I'm going to go ahead and log out
that's
since I've
completely
seen
fine.
it. And
yep,
if you're going to go over the same stuff, I'm already kind of like, my head is kind of going, there's a lot
fine.
to take in.
Sign up and try it. It's so simple. You hit record.
Hi, Anna.
It's up and it's done.
Nice to see
Okay.
you. Okay.
Good to see you guys.
Oh, bye-bye.
Take care. All right, so I'm gonna share. I'm gonna share my whole screen again just to see what it does. Okay. You're seeing my browser right now?
Yes.
Okay. So I have what I showed earlier was the desktop application. First of all, it's just on my computer. This time I'm going to show it from the browser plugin. So I've got it installed as a browser plugin as well. I click on that, does the same thing, loads up my camera, but you can see the background isn't as clear. I'm actually going to try and change that a little bit. Can I get rid of this? Maybe not. That's all right. Go back here. I'm going to start over with this. There's the recording settings. So it has this canvas feature. I think this works better in the desktop version where it sets up a background. I don't like that feature very much. Here's so I can get none. There we go. I can just blur my background. So I was showing this in the desktop version. The more, background kind of stuff you have here, it doesn't do a very good job of cutting it out. So I would stick to the blur or the none for the changing the background. You can just turn your photo off, as you don't have to record the picture in picture, but it is a nice little feature. And I'm going to say, so I can leave it as screen as camera, or I can do screen only or camera only. And I can choose my mic, I can choose my camera. And here I can choose, go away, please, the full desktop or the current tab. If I say current tab and I start recording, it's going to give me the option of choosing whichever tab I have open in my Chrome. So I want to show the FRC homepage, so I'm going to hit share. So this works a little bit differently than the desktop application. The desktop would just show the whole desktop and I can choose whatever I want. But now I'm just demoing whatever's inside of the browser window. And so I can move up and down in the controls down here in the camera area. If I hover over this, I can still make my portrait bigger if I want to. And you can move it around. So if it's in the way or you want to highlight something, you can do that. And I can go full screen with that camera, which is a little bit different. But it can highlight you while you're talking to the students, and then you can click on this thing and it'll go back down to the bottom corner. There are some features that we can do in the desktop version that I can't do here. So I don't have like the drawing tool and things like that in the browser plugin. That would be only in the desktop version. And then when I'm done, if I hit pause, it just pauses the recording and I can take a drink of water, I can do whatever, hit the play and it'll start replaying again. If I hit this restart, it just wipes out whatever I recorded and starts it all over again. So if I'm just making a lot of mistakes, I can just kind of regroup. Delete just cancels the recording altogether. And then if you hit this red square, the stop button, that'll finish the recording, automatically put it in to Loom, and I can copy the link right from here, paste that and send it off, and I'm good to go. And that's what I like about it, is how fast it is.
Yes.
From the Loom side, all the settings and preferences that I showed earlier are all the same. I'm not sure when you came in, but I like simple.
Too. That's
Good.
why I said I got to attend this. This is so good. Okay, so now Rob, how can I go back and watch the recording?
Yeah, we'll put it up. We can stop recording now, Jeff.